So what does it really take to build a mind that's, well, unbreakable? I'm not just talking about a mind that can endure challenges, but one that actually gets stronger because of them. That's exactly what we're going to get into.
You've seen it, right? It's a question that can drive you crazy. You see someone who seems totally invincible, and then someone else who just crumbles at the first sign of trouble. Is it just luck? Some kind of innate gift? Well, the source material we're digging into says absolutely not. It's a skill, and by the end of this, you're going to have the framework to build it for yourself. All right, we're going to break this down into 4 really clear parts. First up, we'll tackle the core mindset, the one that changes everything. Then, we're going to cut out the habits that are holding you back. After that, we'll build some new, seriously powerful habits. And to wrap it all up, we'll learn how to apply all this strength when it really truly counts.
Let's start right at the foundation. You see, before you can act differently, you have to think differently. This mindset shift we're about to talk about, it's the bedrock of everything else.
And this slide, this nails the core concept so simply. Think about it. You wouldn't expect to get physically strong by avoiding the gym, would you? Of course not. Well, the exact same thing is true for your mind. Without resistance, without challenges, there is just no growth, period. And this right here, this just brilliantly illustrates the choice we all have, every single day. That easy path? Sure, it feels good in the moment, but over time it builds a fragile, weak mind. But that challenging path, that's where you forge strength. That's where you grow. That's where you find out what you're really made of. So here's the crucial shift you have to make. You have to reframe your entire perspective. That tough project at work, it's not a burden, it's a training session. That failure you just had, it's not the end, it's just a lesson. This one single shift turns life from something that happens to you into something that happens for you. And if you want a real-world, almost unbelievable example, just look at David Goggins. I mean, his story is extreme, but the principle behind it is universal. This guy went from being overweight and completely miserable to losing over 100 pounds in just 3 months so he could become a Navy SEAL. He figured out that real mental toughness is forged in those moments when every single part of you is screaming to quit, but you just don't. He's living proof that the limits we think we have are almost always just in our own heads. Okay, now that we've got the right mindset locked in, it is time to clear out the junk. Let's take a hard look at the behaviors that are actively draining your mental strength and keeping you stuck right where you are. This is about as direct as it gets, and honestly, these are non-negotiable. Complaining, it just reinforces a victim mentality. Constantly seeking comfort, that is the absolute enemy of growth. And making excuses, well, that's just giving away your power. You have to eliminate these 3 things to create the space for strength to actually grow. All right, we've cleared out all that negative stuff. So, what do we replace it with? You know, strength isn't built by accident. It's the result of consistent, daily practice. Let's get into it. I know. This might sound a little bit crazy, but it is so powerful. When you start your day by willingly choosing discomfort, even for just a minute, you are training your discipline muscle. It's like casting a vote every morning for being the kind of person who does hard things. This one right here is an absolute must. Your mind and your body are so deeply connected. When you push your body, you're literally proving to your mind that it can handle stress and strain. A strong body really does help build a strong mind. And look, it's not just about physical toughness. Meditation is the gym for your mind. It's the practice of just watching your thoughts without letting them control you. It actually rewires your brain for focus, for calm, and for resilience, giving you control over your own internal world. This is really the big principle that ties everything else together. Every single day. Find one thing that challenges you and just do it. It could be that difficult conversation you've been avoiding or learning a new skill. Each time you do this, you're laying another brick in the wall of your mental fortress. So, you've built a foundation and you've started the daily habits. Now what? How do you actually use all this newfound strength when life inevitably throws a punch? This is all about performing under pressure. This is one of the biggest things that separates the strong from the weak. Mentally strong people feel the exact same emotions: anger, fear, stress, but they don't let those emotions drive the bus. Their secret weapon is the pause. That tiny little gap between a trigger and your response. That's where all your power lies.
This quote just perfectly captures the whole idea of personal power. It's not about what happens to you, it's about what you do with what happens. We can't always control the events of our lives, but you know what? We always have control over our response.
And look at this. This visual just makes it so incredibly clear. Look how much of your life experience is actually determined by you. That massive 90% slice, that's your responsibility, but it's also your opportunity. Focusing on the tiny 10% is a total waste of energy. Owning the 90%, well, that changes the whole game.
And here's what that actually sounds like in your own head. The victim mindset asks, why is this happening to me? And all it sees is a roadblock. The strong mindset asks, okay, what can I do about this? And sees a test, a chance to prove its strength. Which one of those voices do you want running your life?
So, what powers this entire system? I'll give you a hint. It's not motivation. It's discipline. Discipline is the engine that drives you forward on the days you have absolutely zero inspiration. It's all about building systems, not just waiting around to feel like it.
Let's be crystal clear about this. Motivation is a great feeling, but it's a terrible strategy. It comes and it goes. Discipline, on the other hand, is what you build. It's your commitment to the process that gets results day in and day out, no matter how you feel.
And all of this leads to a really crucial point about failure. If you try something and you fall short, that is not failure. That's just learning. It's data. You are still in the game. The only moment you truly actually fail is the moment you decide to give up.
And that brings us right here to the final question. You have the framework now. You know the steps. You can go right back to your old habits, or you can decide that right now, today, is the day you start building. The choice is yours. So, what's it going to be?